Hi everybody and welcome back to another episode of Reviews on Tap with me, Nqanawe Live, and today we're going to be reviewing Us by Jordan Peele. It's his second feature film. It stars Lupita Nyongo as the main character, it stars Winston as a supporting character, and also it stars Evan Alex and Shahida Wright Joseph. So now the movie is finally here. I have a love-hate relationship with this movie. If you know Jordan Peele, if you've seen Get Out for example, you kind of have some sort of expectation going into Us. He gave us Get Out, which was basically a metaphor, but at the same time its literal side of it did hold up as much as its metaphorical side. The concept of the movie far outweighs the logic of the movie. It is, at the end of the day, a horror slash thriller slash supernatural movie. I did have some expectations from obviously the director Jordan Peele himself, but that was basically about it. And when I was in the movie and I was watching the movie, it's very gripping. I was very entertained for most of the movie. At the beginning, it has quite of a slow start, but then after that, when shit hits the fan, shit does hit the fan. But I did have some of my problems here and there. With Get Out, he gave us that film that blew most people away when it comes to horror, especially horror in these days. As I mentioned, most of the time I was entertained. By the way, this movie has a lot of symbolism. You kind of have to not know your shit. And when I say know your shit, I don't mean just when it comes to movies. It has a lot of pop culture references which tie into the actual plot of the film, by the way. It's not just for the sake of, hey, look at this, guys. You know what most movies do these days when it comes to nostalgia. Hey, look at this. You know this. You know, when you really look at it and you reflect on the movie, you're like, oh shit, that thing that I know that I've consumed in the past few years or decades, it actually ties into the overall plot of the film. So when it was doing that, and most of the times it did come off as organic, but there were times when it was a little bit, and we were mentioning this with Uspa, it was a bit too on the nose sometimes. And I have a problem with movies like that, where I was like, I get it, but I don't get it type of situation. And I feel like the part where I didn't get it, or the parts where I kind of didn't get it, were sometimes because it was a little bit too on the nose. Like, maybe you're taking something that is pretty obvious and now you're making me think too much about it, and maybe I don't have to. And that's where at some point when that hit me when I was watching the film, I was like, maybe the problem is me. Maybe I'm over analyzing a film that is basically just this, because once again, I have certain standard that I hold Jordan Peele to, having seen Get Out. So maybe I was expecting something else when actually everything was in plain sight. But with that said, it is a fucking brilliant movie. It is amazing. Like I said, from what I've watched, I'm gonna watch it again, by the way, in like a day or two. I'm gonna watch it again. I'm probably gonna watch it 3, 4, 5 times then before the year comes to an end, because I can tell you right now, it is a movie that requires repeat viewing. There are a lot of things that I could just watching and like, a lot of shit is flying over my head. I'm catching what I'm catching, and a lot of stuff is flying over my head. So that's kind of why I say I have a love-hate relationship with this movie. The parts that hit, they really do hit, and they really do connect and stick. And then there are those parts where you're like, I don't know whether you taking yourself a bit too seriously, you're trying a bit too hard right now, or I'm just looking too deep into shit that's not even there. And so that's kind of tainting in a way my overall viewing experience. But let's talk about the acting. The acting was amazing. Lupita Nyongo, man, like, for me this is probably her best, and especially because like you get to see her range, you get to see her explore her range, playing 2 characters in one film, and they kind of have to have the same personalities but also at the same time be distinctly different. So you can kind of assume how much work can go into that. When you do actually come to find the effort she actually did put into that, when it comes to distinguishing between the 2 voices of the characters, like wow, you actually went all in for this character. And it's not just her. Winston, by the way, I've only seen him as M'Baku. If you guys know him as M'Baku from Black Panther, I also just know him as that. So when I saw him in this movie, and he plays a totally different character than he is when he's M'Baku, and it's like, oh man, damn, I could get used to more of this. Yeah, well, I wouldn't mind seeing not more of this as in the specific character, but seeing more of him in movies. When you are watching it, you do get that idea it's okay. There are a lot of layers to this film, and that's another thing. Once you've watched it and you're out and you're still digesting it in your head, they just keep coming back. Boom. You're like, oh my god, did that mean this? Boom. Oh my god, was that, oh, like it keeps on coming back. Like 2 hours after I'd watched the film, it was still just fucking popping in my head. And that's why I was like, when I was watching it, I was like, I'm not gonna watch it again. But after 2 hours later, I was like, yeah, I'm definitely watching this movie again, because it was enjoyable, but also because it's just so layered. So overall, I did like them. I did love the movie. I enjoyed it. So guys, please go out. I'm recommending this movie. Go watch it. If you can watch it more than once, go watch it. So yeah, that's basically about it, guys. We are planning on actually doing an entire discussion around the film. That's why I'm touching here and there, and I'm not really going deep into most things. I'm touching here and there because we are planning on doing a discussion on the Reviews on Tap podcast, specifically dedicated to just the movie Us. By the way, when it comes to Reviews on Tap podcast, thank you very much for the support, guys. Go watch the other videos for those who haven't watched them. Please go watch and engage. Thank you for the engagement on Twitter and here on YouTube. Thank you very much. We really appreciate it. What you guys are saying back to us is what we're actually aiming for with the actual show itself. So thank you very much for engaging us on that. Expect a discussion around this on the Reviews on Tap podcast. And yeah, basically that's basically about it, guys. Go watch this movie. It's coming out tomorrow. Maybe this video will be up on the day of release, Friday. Come out Friday 27th in South Africa. It came out a week ago internationally. Go watch this movie. Subscribe, comment, like, and share if you've seen it. For those who managed to attend the screening last week, how do you feel about the movie? Comment down below. Go follow at Arcadium. Subscribe to the channel. Follow me at Nqanawe Live on Twitter. Follow Uspa at LawlessTheme1. Also go to my channel for local content, local South African film reviews, interviews, and all that stuff on my channel. There are more reviews and interviews coming up in the next couple of weeks, so go subscribe. Thank you for the people who have subscribed, because I've seen a lot of people come from this side subscribing on my channel. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. And yeah, guys, that's basically about it, and I'll see you in the next video.